Here we go. Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Happy Great American Eclipse Day. That's what we're excited about, right? That's what everybody's talking about this morning.
It is the buzz, isn't it? And we have some really exciting news because we weren't sure of what the viewing potential would be here for us in Northeast Wisconsin.
We were worried about it. Steve on Friday was saying that it was going to be questionable. We're going to bring the chief in himself now. There he is up there in the First Alert Weather Center. And Steve, you're telling us that people that want to see that partial eclipse here, they've got some good news this morning?
Some great news, guys. Leading up to the weekend, it was looking like this was going to be too cloudy of an event for us to really see very much. But the computer models have kind of picked up on changes with that storm system that gave us clouds and some showers late over the weekend. And now it looks like it's cleared out enough where we're going to see this eclipse as we go towards this afternoon. So I'm really excited about it. And what I want to do is I want to kind of switch over to some weather graphics. And Emerson and Tammy, I'm going to pilot actually what I want to show you guys here. We're going to show this graphic actually instead here, the Great American Eclipse. So this is actually going to start just a little bit before 1 o'clock this afternoon, and it'll go all the way till about 3:20. The peak of the eclipse around 2:09, and that's when about 85% of the sun is going to be blocked by the moon. Now, this is an animation that our buddy meteorologist Brad Spakowitz made of what it's going to look like today. You can see how the moon comes in from the lower right and exits in the upper left. And 85% coverage is kind of ballpark. It does vary from location and location. WBAY broadcasts for such a big area, anywhere from the upper Michigan border all the way down towards Fond du Lac and Sheboygan. And so that percentage of totality varies a little bit. Even the peak time and when it hits definitely adjusts just a little bit as well.
And Steve, we're looking forward to being able to see part of that there, and important to have those proper glasses, right, for people that are going to be wanting to look up and experience that?
Yeah, if you don't have the proper solar shades, you can cause some vision issues, and sometimes it's temporary and sometimes it's permanent. We want to make sure that people are wearing proper solar shades. If you bought some solar shades and if you're not sure if they're the real McCoy or not, Emerson, you and Aisha did a nice little example this morning where Emerson put on the solar shades and you shined your cell phone's flashlight like right into your eyes. You shouldn't be able to see anything. The only light that should be really getting through is the light from the eclipse itself, and so that's really important that you have the proper eyewear. The only time you can really take off the glasses during the eclipse is if that you are in a position of complete totality. Let me give you guys an example here. So, we'll get up to 85% totality in Green Bay, but Indianapolis is in the path of totality. Now, when they are completely in the peak of the eclipse, when it's 100% of the sun blocked, then you can take the solar shades off and get a look at this amazing event. Exactly, the proper solar shades is really important. Now, that path of totality, that's going to stay well to our south and our east, cutting from Texas all the way into the mid-Mississippi Valley over towards Indiana and Ohio before heading northeast over towards Maine. And in that path of totality, the forecast doesn't look too bad for the most part, generally partly cloudy skies. And back at home, we'll have partly cloudy skies across northeast Wisconsin. 209, mid-eclipse, we should be in the low 60s. South wind around 10 to 20 miles an hour. I will tell you guys, and we didn't talk about this too much during the actual morning show, that when an eclipse happens, sometimes the air temperature drops a bit. In fact, it can drop as much as 10 degrees in the path of totality. I suspect for us in northeast Wisconsin, it may not drop quite as much, maybe closer to 5 to 8 degrees, but that's something to watch once we get to about sometime between 1 and 3 o'clock this afternoon.
And you mentioned the birds and the animals, they kind of even react differently when that all happens, right, Steve?
Well, I mean, it gets dark enough where they think it's nighttime, right? So they think to themselves like, oh, okay, I guess I should settle down for the night. And the birds tend to quiet down. And so, we're all creatures of habit. And I'm using that pun intentionally, because, whether it's animals or human beings, we're used to a certain schedule. And if the animals, notice that the sky's getting dark, they're probably going to think, oh, well, nighttime. What I will show you guys really quickly here, guys, I won't get too long into it, but this is a first alert pinpoint predictor. And the clouds that we had last night, you can see them at times across the North Woods. Like, I don't think the visibility of seeing the eclipse is going to be as good for folks from Antigo up towards Niagara. But for the most part, the Fox Valley and the lakeshore, it's looking pretty good as we go towards the peak of the eclipse. And I would expect in general, clear to partly cloudy weather across the area this evening. There might be a couple showers later tonight, but in general, we're looking a lot better now than we were days ago, looking at this rare, and if not rare, once-in-a-lifetime event for some people.
That's great news. You were hoping. You were saying, let's fan those
We were
clouds
staying
out of here.
optimistic. It's the optimism. You just gotta will it to happen. And Steve, you delivered. So we
No,
appreciate
you know
for
what?
that.
I'm not taking any credit for it. It was Emerson on, I think it was Friday's show. He said that we should fan the clouds out of here. And
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
I don't know what you did, Emerson, but I think you're the one who deserves the credit.
The cloud dance. I
And
was just dancing around.
I love this fun fact that we shared on Facebook. So the total runtime on the eclipse, 4 minutes, 27 seconds, right? That's like the totality. Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart radio cut runtime, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. How many people are going to be playing that song while
gonna be blaring.
while they're watching?
So basically, you should just sit there, and if you've got the song on your smartphone or whatever, just hit play at the right time.
Yep.
And
Ready to go. All right, Steve. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the look into everything, and
happy to join you guys.
we'll see you at noon on Action 2 News at noon. Yeah, we'll let you go get ready for the midday show.
At 9 o'clock.
And at
yeah,
9, yes.
And we coordinated nicely, didn't we? Our sunshine yellow.
We brought the
Noticed
yellow.
Steve had the yellow tie, too.
Steve was
so
ready. Yes, we're rocking the yellow today, showing off the sun. And remember,
super excited about that.
keep those
Yes.
glasses handy. Cannot stress that enough. You want to make sure that you're being safe.
Absolutely.
So definitely important to do that. And let's give Steve and the weather team another quick little plug here. We've got the First Alert app that we want to always remind people. You can keep track of the cloud cover on days like today. You can also, whenever severe weather, we're getting into severe weather awareness time, you want to make sure that you are staying prepared for that. So download that app if you haven't already. Certainly an important feature to have there, and Steve and the weather team do an awesome job keeping everybody up to date. And now we want to talk about your consumer first alerts. I'm going to grab my cheat sheet that you gave me so kindly, but we were talking on Friday, car sale
Online.
fraud,
right.
online sellers that are making up
Right.
these elaborate schemes, these stories, and trying to take
Selling
advantage
used
of people.
cars, and really one of the reasons, so this isn't anything new. So this really peaked. The Better Business Bureau found this fraud peaked during the pandemic. And they noticed last year, 2023, that these reports of fraud, online, fake vehicles for sale, that they were getting more reports, and people were losing a lot of money. Some cases like $12,000. So these are fake ads that can show up on Craigslist, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. So these are real online, sites that people are going to, and people are looking for deals on used vehicles, and so that's kind of what was happening, and people seeing a great deal.
And like you said, people are trying to, it's getting out in front of this and making sure
Right.
that people are
Absolutely.
aware of what's going on. And I know you spoke with a gentleman who from your consumer first alerts, he kind of knew this is a little sketchy, I don't know about this, and it helped save him some money.
Right, and he reported this to the Better Business Bureau, to their online scam tracker, so I followed up with him, and he said, Tammy, I listened to your reports, and I remember you saying if you're asked to pay with a gift card, you shouldn't do that. But he still was like, well, I don't know, this is a pretty good deal. It was on Facebook Marketplace. And a couple of things that he said were that really triggered him, and he said, I think that there's something fishy about this. It was a nephew who supposedly was listing the vehicle for the owner. And then once he was emailing with the owner of the vehicle said it was her son, 26-year-old son, who had passed away. She didn't want to hold on to this SUV anymore. And then she was also a military nurse and was leaving for overseas in 10 days, needed to sell this. It was a 2003 Land Rover for $1,200. And he said, and to pay with gift cards.
It's always the gift cards.
And
It's always
he
the
said,
gift
you
cards.
know, that was the big red flag. So a couple of things there. But what people really need to know about this is that they really make them seem believable. So they can lift pictures,
Sure.
make it look like, so he thought that, you know, he was working through eBay Motors. They even had a phone number, fake phone number to call, supposed eBay Motors representative. It was not. It was all a scam.
It was interesting.
And he didn't lose money, I should say.
He didn't lose money,
lose
which is fantastic.
And he talked to us for our story
wants to help other
warn
people.
other people, right.
And reading your article online, it was what was kind of stood out to me was that you want to watch out for those elaborate stories. Like
Right.
usually you would think, oh, they have all these details, this must be legitimate, but they have that story laid out for that exact reason, to
Right.
make you think that this can't be a scam. This is for certain. But
Which is why they, you know, it presents itself like it's urgent. Oh, they really need to sell this. And also, he asked to see the vehicle in person. He wanted to see the vehicle, and they gave him a reason why he wasn't able to see it. You know, it was just always there's some story around it. Like, well, is it in Wisconsin? I'll come and see it. You know, so just a lot of things to watch out for. So we have that online, and the Better Business Bureau really wants people to report this. I mean, that's a big component of this, because they're able to track this. I mean, sometimes we say, you know, these people are overseas, and it's sometimes difficult to track down people. They might not be able to track them down right away, but the Federal Trade Commission, you know, they're involved in all of this, and they get these reports and they follow up on it as much as they can to try and, you know, bring they're criminals, you know, they're criminals who
Yep.
are doing this.
and bring it to light
So,
and
right.
save people their money. Don't. So
Absolutely.
wonderful work by you and by them to help
We
save some people.
appreciate him able to tell his story with us.
Absolutely.
Because I think that makes a difference when you hear a personal story. So and glad he didn't lose any money. And thanks for watching our consumer alerts. And if you know anyone, you know, you hear them, share this with them. If you know they're looking online, be really suspicious. You really have to double check. And if you have any questions, you know, you can always check with the Better Business Bureau. They're a really great resource.
Great team to work with over there. We got some good news to share with
Yes,
people as
we
well. We
do.
want to show that off here. So check this out here. We're going to bring up this picture. Our team over the weekend was honored with the Sevride Award from. This was a newscast before I got here. This was
Yes,
back
this
in
was back
August. I'll let you.
In August. So this was, we had our reporter, Emily Beyer. She was filling in that morning, and our photojournalist, Don Johnson. They were called out to Howard, and there was an active investigation going on. And so during this newscast, it really was a progressive story. It was breaking. There was definitely lots of police activity. They had squad cars. I mean, there were drones up. And Emily was following all this activity. We later learned that this was a group that, a crime, it was called the Hook and Chain Gang, because they used chains to physically hook up to an ATM machine and pull it with their truck.
Wow.
So they were actively searching for these criminals. And so Emily and Don were following this all. It was all breaking during our newscast. And, you know, it was one of those days where it was just every 15 minutes there was something new. And I just give huge props to Emily, Don, our team behind the scenes, you know, for just keeping our viewers updated. Because there's also, you know, when you're at home, if you lived in that neighborhood, you're wondering what in the world is going on
Sure.
there. And so that's what, you know, I just want to say that our team, you know, it doesn't mean it's incredible to win awards, but it's what we do every day.
First alerting people. That's the
Absolutely.
goal, right? We want to be the
Right.
ones to first alert you when
So,
things like that are happening.
yes.
And
That's our team
This is the
behind the
team.
s-
Yeah.
behind the scenes
we've got
there.
Jake there from right to left. We'll go. We've got Jake Soka. We've got our news director Julie. We've got Chris, and then Jimmy. Our EP Chris is in the middle there with the gold plaque.
Yes.
And yeah, I just
Chris Burke's super happy, super proud, because he was a fairly new EP with us.
thrown right into
Yes,
it at the
right,
time.
right,
So,
right. So
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. We just like to share that. It means a lot to us, and we just want to recognize our team and everyone who makes it happen. Who, you know, every single day
And
working hard.
like you said, it's team effort.
Absolutely.
In front of the camera, behind the camera, everybody makes it possible. So congrats to you guys for that. A wonderful team effort there. And happy Monday to everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful time. If you do have plans to view the eclipse, Steve just walked downstairs. We're very grateful to him for making that forecast happen. And
And I want to give a shout out to all the. Oh, are you going to come in? Are
I
you
was
gonna-
just gonna say, no problem.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you, sir.
Appreciate
Sure,
it.
no problem.
Love the lemon yellow tie.
I had to be
We coordinated.
on the same level
It's
as you
perfect.
guys.
And then I also want to give a shout out to all of the high school teams, the sports, the spring sports.
Yes.
Because they're finally getting some decent weather.
You're going to get out on the ball
good luck.
diamond and the
Yes,
tennis courts and the track and field.
Yeah,
They're all going to be
so
excited.
Good luck to everyone, and I just hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and we'll be back at
4:30 tomorrow
the news
morning.
desk tomorrow morning.
Dark and early.
Yeah.
All right, so make it a great Monday, everybody, and we'll see you next week, same time, 8:30.
Take care.